What's up, guys? It's your boy Ryan here, and today we're going to be breaking down cinematographer, videographer extraordinaire Rory Kramer. Now, you probably do not know who Rory is, and I'm not surprised by that, but about 500,000 other people, maybe even more, do, and there's chances are that you have seen his videos in artists and musicians that you love and follow today, especially on YouTube.
Oh, dude, is that Rory Kramer and Justin Bieber? I once Googled Google, and guess what popped up? Google.
So before I get into telling you how Rory Kramer has influenced millions, if not billions of people with some of his videos, I want to take a second and congratulate and especially thank all of you awesome people that have commented on the last couple videos we've done. Elliot Hulse, Logan Paul, Casey Neistat, Greg O'Gallagher. All of those videos are linked below and you'll see them at the end of this video, but thank you for leaving some positive feedback. A lot of work goes into these videos and I appreciate you guys. Now, like all of these videos that I do for you guys, these personality breakdowns and such, I like to reference what I call the 3 P's of power. And if you don't know what that is, it's actually platform, presence, and persona. This is something that I talked about at my last live event here in St. Petersburg, Florida last September. It is how I reverse engineer and basically re-engineer the success of somebody that they're having online and through their social media and how they have gathered and grown their following. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of the 3 P's of power and what Rory has done to grow his following, I want to take a second and actually thank him. Rory has inspired me to do some pretty amazing things. If you guys are following me on Instagram and you've seen my Instagram stories and what I've been doing over there, I like to consider it being very next level. And that is partially, in fact, due to what I have learned and studied and stolen from Rory Kramer's music videos and things that he has put on the internet today. And that is a very cool thing, and I appreciate him for that. So like I said in the beginning of this video, if you don't know who Rory Kramer is, I urge you to, number one, check him out and look at what we're talking about in this video and kind of start following him. But there are chances are that you have seen a video that he has made, produced, directed, or had the creative influence behind. Rory got his start, I'm going to guess about 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago. He was creating videos for his own YouTube channel, which was very small at the time, called Lake Life. And he created these awesome, very high energy style edits, and really nobody was watching. When I found him, he was only getting a few hundred views per video. Now he gets into the millions.
Dude, how are we gonna freaking top Lake Life 1 and Lake Life 2?
You know what? We're just gonna do what we do. This right here is the Lake Life.
Now, even though Rory's videos were awesome, they were not getting noticed at all. But he had a friend who was very good and in tune with Blau. If you haven't seen Blau, he's a very big EDM DJ, still rocking it to this day. But Blau mentioned him to his producers. They ended up working together. He ended up going on tour with Blau and creating very fast-paced music edits, which were different than anybody at that time in the EDM scene had really seen being done on stage and in concert, and Rory was just basically changing the game with those videos. All right, so after being on tour with Blau, he was actually noticed by Avicii, his tour manager, or somebody that had something to do with Avicii, and he was asked to create a video for a new song that Avicii was putting out called The Nights.
He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember.
You guys may recognize this song. I've used it multiple times in my stories. It's a very popular song. It has 313 million views. Yes, let that sink in for a quick second. That's how many times this guy's video, Rory, has been seen. Now, he created that video for Avicii. Then the rocket ship took off. He went on, he worked with Krewella. Then the big splash was Justin Bieber decided he wanted to make Rory his personal videographer, but he had to make a big decision there because he was also working with a band you may have heard of called the Chainsmokers. Now, most likely I just royally fucked up that chronological order of Rory Kramer's timeline, but the point of this is he has worked with everybody who is anybody in the EDM industry, and that was just the tip of the iceberg for what is about to come for Rory Kramer, because he was on the midst of not only working with Justin Bieber, but also, my camera girl almost fell right there. Let's keep that going. Not only was he about to start working with Justin Bieber, he was about to actually bring up a lot of his friends around him. And this is, like I talk about it a lot with networking, is really the power of your environment and who you associate yourself with. As Jim Rohn once quoted, you are the sum of your 5 closest friends. Because people were hanging out with Rory and he had friends that were making similar style videos, he actually created this industry of guys that were now doing videos very similar to his, but they all had their own unique styles. Guys like Matt Komos.
It's important to surround yourself with the people, places, and things that make you inherently happy. You can't force it, but when you find your purpose, don't let it go. It will make everything worth it.
Sam Colder.
So I've been traveling the world non-stop for the past couple of months.
That one kid, Jeremiah Davis.
So graduated college 6 months ago and haven't filled out one job application. Since that decision, I moved to Los Angeles to make videos with my friends. And 51 videos, 15 private jets, 7 countries, and 1 tiny studio apartment later, I feel like every day I get to live like it's the weekend.
Many others that he worked with that were eventually going to come into his next step, which is actually his own MTV show, which is called MTV's Dare to Live.
All right, Rory, you ready for this?
Oh, let's do it, baby. Woo! Something, Steve, you just gotta dive in head first.
Now, if you haven't checked out MTV's Dare to Live, I urge you guys to go check that out, because what I want to talk to you guys about is his extraordinary ability to get the humanity out of very successful people. Artists that you would seem untouchable. Krewella, Justin Carrusso, Blau, Steve Aoki. He was able to really get the human side of them and get them to open up to them and share some very intimate stuff, which is why that show was so awesome.
My name is Rory, and somehow I have the best job on earth.
Cheers to being alive.
I travel the world as a personal filmmaker for some of the dopest musicians.
So I know all those names seem very famous and cool, but how did Rory actually get these people to come on the show and open up to him? And that is what I like to call the 3 Ps of power, and that's what this video is about, is how Rory is able to build this influence and now have almost 500,000 Instagram followers, but also get very famous people to open up and tell their deepest, darkest secrets on camera. Well, first off, let's talk about his persona, which is the first P, which is basically his style, his overall presence, and how he kind of shows himself to the world, which Rory does a very interesting job of it. One of the main things is his overall look, his style, the clothes that he wears. He doesn't really give a fuck what anybody thinks. He's oftentimes seen wearing 2 different color Vans. Yes, they're the same style of van, but they're mostly 2 different colors. There's also a very distinct style. He wears very long tees. He has his own merch, so he's often wearing his own merch. He supports specific brands that are very common, brands like McDonald's and just things of that nature that everybody can have. But this is all due to he's a very likable guy. And Cialdini talks about this a lot in Influence. The more that he kind of relates to people and what he's doing, especially what he's wearing, he attracts a very specific audience. And the audience that Rory is attracting is of that demographic that really latches on to the fact that he wears a different color Vans, he doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks, he encourages you to be you. All right, so now let's talk about Rory Kramer's platform of choice, which actually started, like I said, with his own YouTube channel many years ago. But his actual rise to fame happened on other people's channels, which is something different than what I've talked about for many other people. Most of the time I'm talking about people that have grown their own channels and from their own fame, from their own stuff. But Rory's actually rise to fame was because he posted videos that he made on Avicii, Justin Bieber, Chainsmokers, Krewella. All these videos with his simple name in the front of them and at the end of them as the creator of the video actually got him 500,000 Instagram followers from that, which is, like I said, different than many of the people we talk about on this channel, because it just goes to show you that the platform doesn't always have to be your own. You can build fame, you can build a following using other people's stuff, just if you keep putting out some amazing fucking content. All right, so the last and final P is actually presence, which is basically what makes you as a viewer draw yourself to Rory, continue to watch his stuff, enjoy his content, buy merch from him, and make you overall just want to continue to know and follow Rory. Well, first things first, Rory was very open and, dare I say, vulnerable, because I say that a lot on these videos, but he showed you a lot about his life. Main thing being was he was a victim of almost 2 years of identity theft. And if you watched any of his videos, he goes into depth about traumas and all the depression and anxiety that this caused him.
There was a time where I wasn't really happy with where I was at in life, and I was taking vodka with me every single day to work to deal with it. And I always made videos because it was my form of self-expression. It was my escape.
He dealt with some very heavy shit, for the, to be honest, but he shares that publicly with 500,000 Instagram followers, which you as a viewer now relate to him. He's also battling depression all the time, and he openly talks about that on his Instagram captions and his Instagram stories. These things kind of combined with his very polarizing personality and his overall look and the fact that he knows all these celebrities makes you as the viewer want to continue to watch him.
I'm simply listing what everyone knows about me, or that they see on my Instagram. What you don't know is that for the past 2 years, I've been battling the fact that someone stole my identity, running up $20,000 worth of debt and got evicted from 3 apartments all under my name. That caused so much depression that the weight of my bedsheet was too much to lift in the morning.
Just to wrap this up, Rory has one thing that I always talk about with everybody that I do these breakdowns for. He has a very strong message, and Rory's message is actually run it.
Lake life, run it. Run it. Run it. What do you?
Talks about it in all his videos. It's on all of his merch. And basically what that means is to be you. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And basically just live life to the fullest. And don't let anybody stop you from doing it. It's kind of what his mantra, it's what he's lived by. He has tons of people that have like tattooed it on them. That's how you know he has a strong core following. That's why guys like yourself and girls like yourself are gravitated and watch everything that Rory does. So I'm a full supporter of the term run it and everything that it means, because quite frankly, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, and I don't think you guys should either. So I'm full support. Rory, you rock. And like I said, Rory, if you're watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. And all you guys that are watching this as well, let me know what you think in the comments if you want to break anybody else down, but I encourage you to run it in your own lives. And definitely give Rory a follow because his content is fucking amazing. Peace.